Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. How is everybody? I hope we had a great day. How about Google? I mean, holy cow, they came out with some incredible news there. I'm not even sure if I completely understand what they're even talking about, but apparently they did something they've been trying to do for 30 years, and everybody's pretty excited about it. It's way over most of our heads, I think, but it is an incredible breakthrough, and that thing was setting up. I said it last week, it was looking great, and boom, it just popped up. So let's go through and see what's going to be next to be popping up because I know them options were paying out well. So let's go through the market, see what's happening, and see what we're going to get into next. Here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. We'll bang through this list right here. I have a little list that I've had made. I forgot all about it. That's some sectors and stocks that will benefit under the Trump administration. So we'll blast through that real quick tonight and call it a night. So we'll be ready for the rest of the week, see what's ready, and see what crypto's up to. Ripple had really good news too. So here we go. Let's rock and roll. JTAI, that was running this morning. I know that. It pulled back, but we were talking about it last night, and I know it was up first thing this morning, and it ran what 549. It opened and got up to 685, came down to 394 and closed at 4. So I know it was up there early and it was moving. We expected it to. And again, anything that's down cheaper, you have to expect it to possibly run before that 7 a.m. And then kind of be pulling back. So you have to play them accordingly. But yeah, that thing did run up there and then pull back. JTAI it's still in the basement. I mean, it's not even looking bad. It just had that run up and some pullback. I think it's still trying to get set up. So we'll keep an eye on it. And everything with AI in it right now has been moving. So RGTI, this thing's a monster. And it ran way up there. I think it got to what, 689, somewhere's in that area. I was thinking 809 it got to in the after hours. So it's at 765. Finviz just has it at 682. And I was thinking when I was saying that, I was like, is it 6 or 8? But it was 8. I was thinking it was 6 looking at it, but it definitely did run up over 8. I remember seeing it. And that is that RGTI. And another one, I mean, just blasting up there and could continue to move up tomorrow. So that one's a big popper. I know Laptop Travel is all over that guy, and that one's a blaster. How about CDIO, Cardio Diagnostic Holdings? We were way in this early, and this thing just keeps running up. This is like over 450% from when we were looking at it. I can tell you that because I was posting about it, and I know I posted it because it was setting up that day to get running. And this thing's been blasting off here, CDIO, and we were looking at it a little further back and then also recently, and it has run up there, but it may be trying to top out finally. But yeah, what a monster, and it's just run like crazy. Like I said, came down from like 29 cents all the way up to it got over 117 today. So CDIO, definitely a mover right there. Elab, let's see what you're up to tonight. It was just cruising up. As I said, it was getting to be in the right spot there, and it is curling up. It did not get out of the basement yet, but it looks like it wants to. It has to hop up over that 332. It's getting closer at the 269 right now. It ran up to 283, so keep your eye on Elab because I think it wants to continue. And like I was telling you guys, it wanted to run and it should continue to. So just keep an eye on that guy and we'll see what it wants to do there. And how about TRNR? This was running up early this morning too. It was still up about 53 cents and still not looking bad, but it ran up this morning. It got to 481. It opened at 275 and then it pulled back and it closed at 307. And again, still not looking bad. Remember, I was saying this thing wants to get popping, and it did today, and it still doesn't look bad. So keep an eye on that TRNR, and it could keep that momentum right there. HAO, let's see, because it was pulling back a little bit today, and just looks like it's just still setting up. It looks like it wants to roll off that MACD. It was just flat today. Didn't look too bad to me. I mean, it didn't look like it had any issues. Yesterday, it was trying to run up, went 13 to 16, and then today opened at at 15, went to 16, and pulled back to 13 and closed at 14. So did have pullback, and I know people were concerned, but still looks fine to me. And they ain't just going to run up every single one and run 100% immediately. So, and this one, the 20's still way up there at like 18 cents. So you're at 14, not way up there, but it's up there. And so HAO, I would keep an eye on that tomorrow. And again, just flat, but still curling up and looking decent. So keep an eye on that. LGHL is the lion, and it was just pulled back a little bit, and this thing is getting set up. It's just getting right there. It was in the right spot the other day, and then it pulled back a little bit. So I think we might have to wait a few days, but it is getting set up, and it will be a day or two. I mean, it's right there. So keep an eye on this guy because it is that lion wants to take off and get roaring. So it is a China small cap one, and some of them ones are really setting up to get moving. So keep an eye on that LGHL and Walmart. Remember, we haven't been looking at it every single day lately, but remember, I was telling you it was going to set up and pop, and then it'll pull back and continue to go down. Well, there you go. That was your pop today. It ran from what 885 to 1130. It might even been a little bit higher. Yeah, 884 to 1130 right there, and it's at 1042. So I'm not so sure it wants to continue up. It may hit that top and come back down. But yeah, that was the pop right there, and then I would expect it to continue to come back down because, like I said, it is still a little set up, but I don't even know if it's going to run up anymore. It did have a nice run up today, and again, the company still doesn't look that great. It just had to run up off the setup right there. So that's exactly what they do. And again, it's exciting to see that the charts are running like they normally should. They didn't do this for 3.5 years, and all of a sudden Trump wins the election and they start moving the right way. So what do you know? And he's not even in office yet, and somebody's running the country. So how amazing is that? And then it's fascinating, and these things just tell you everything. And I just tell you is what I see. So I just point it all out. And X went way down. United States Steel Corp. I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but U.S. Steel drops as Biden plans to block sale of Nippian Steel. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I just saw that, and I don't even know who Nippian Steel is, so I'm not exactly sure what that company is. N I Hold on, NIPP. I don't even know what it is. Anyone even know what the stock ticker is? I have no idea. But anyway, X went way down here, and it did pull back. It is setting up, so this is going to be a great dip opportunity. But it did take a nice nosedive. It opened at 39 and came down to not. It opened at 39.04, came down to 30.55, and it closed at 35.26. So X is a nice dip right there. And like I said, something happened with Nippian Steel, and I'm not even sure who they are. So there you go with that. And that is your X report and your Steel report. We'll see what happens with that guy. And CTNT, that cheetah, that was up today trying to get running. It ran last week or the third, which was last Tuesday, and now it based out, and it looks like it was coming down to the line, and it's curling back up, and it does look like it wants to run back up here, that cheetah. So keep an eye on the CTNT. It does look like it has some legs on it, and it can get moving. So that one's setting up the move. And SDOT, this one's been looking good. It ran up, I know, recently up to like that 570 and then pulled back. It's curling back up, and it did cross down, but this thing tries to make that hard curl up, and it looks like it's going to try to. It could really get popping here. So it is right in between that channel, and it is curling up. I'll definitely be taking a look at this guy tomorrow, SDOT, that static group, and it does look like it wants, if it gets curled up, it's going to try to run up higher than it was in them 550 areas. So that's SDOT, and I'll take a look at that and see if it wants to run nice. And QUBT, what was that up to? I think that one was running today. It was up 15 cents, and it was trying to curl back up into the top. I'm not exactly sure it wants to, but let me see. QUBT, and it's trying to. I'll have to look at it tomorrow, but I mean, it did. Yeah, it's these ones are hard to tell. They keep running back up there, even though you don't think they're going to. It's almost like looking at crypto. Um, when they get up there and they start coming down, they're so hard to tell because you've seen them bounce up so many times, and then they just, it's kind of hard at that point. You just don't exactly know what it wants to do, and like I said, it looks like it wants to get into the top, could roll off, but it could also come down. Let's look at the rest of them as well. QBTS. Oh, what am I typing? QBTS. That's at D Wave Quantum. And this one looks like it wants to stay up in the top as well, right there. So BTS is that D Wave Quantum. And like I said, it does. It looks like it wants to stay up there, but yesterday it looks like it could be the top. I mean, they're just hard to tell when they get up here. QMCO. This one, I know I had it on the list yesterday. I just put the list away, but I knew we were looking at this for the roll off because I had that look. And this one ran up $4.32. It's back up over 20. And what it go to today? 15.90 to 21.44 or something like that. And it did run pretty nice there. So yeah, mine's a 1667 to 2150. But yeah, real nice curl up, and QMCO could continue to move up. So watch that one. And QTUM. Let's see what that one's doing because that one was moving up as well. It looks like it wants to stay up in the top there at 75.66. So keep an eye on the Defiance Quantum ETF because it is staying up in the top. It appears that it wants to. And then even that IONQ, that was pulled back there, and that one's dipping down. So it did it went from 33 to 36.75 and came down to 32.63, and it's at 32.97. So it is curled through coming down, and it could have some pullback. They've all been hitting that 20, so look for it down here around the $30 range, IONQ, and then we'll reevaluate it right there. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow again and see what it wants to do. And how about Lucid? LCID was down 19 cents. It ran up yesterday. Just looks like some healthy pullback there. So watch for this to try to bounce back up or even try to make a base and get moving again, but it'll probably try to keep running up there. And Holo was down 9 cents. It looked like it was trying to get moving. It ran up yesterday and then it just pulled back. So see if it bounces tomorrow. It does have that look like it wants to kind of bounce, but if not, we're not worrying about Holo anymore. But it is one of them China small cap ones, so it could easily bounce. It has that look like it might tomorrow, so keep an eye on that for a bounce. BLDE, that blade was down 16 cents, and again, it's going to have to pull back. It was way up at the top, and it has to make some room. So watch for it to come back down into the 4 area, and then try to set back up and get moving again. So it will be setting back up. Just let it pull back for a little bit, and then we'll catch that one. And Soar was soaring early this morning, and this one's setting up. It was in a good spot. I would watch this tomorrow, guys, because this one really does want to soar. SOAR, and it does look good. What it do? 30 to 36. Its low is 28. That's where it's at. And I'm telling you, this thing does want to get up there. It wants to get over like that 31 cent area and get cruising. And obviously, it did it today, but it does want to try to get that momentum going. If not, it's going to pull back down here into like the 22s, 23, and then get set up. So it does look like it's trying to roll off and pop off of there. So watch SOAR tomorrow and see what that wants to do if it can get soaring again. So I'll definitely take a look at that. And CRVO. Servo Med. This one was running down. That's right. I forgot. It looked, I couldn't even find the thing. It went way down today. Yesterday it ran up a little bit, 1287 to 1450, and then today it opened at 929 and came down to 211. It's at 219, so we're definitely gonna have to keep an eye on this one. Does it have that look? Not really, to be honest with you. It doesn't really have that look like it wants to just bounce back. Not saying it's impossible, but it doesn't have that bounce look. And I'll tell you why. It didn't really get down far enough. It just kind of went. I mean, it could try to pull itself up and bounce off that bottom line. So maybe it tries to do that, but I don't think it's going to try to bounce out of the basement where it's sitting. But yeah, it just kind of put itself barely into the basement, so maybe it will try to pull itself up. We'd have to look at that tomorrow. Let me mark that one. I'll have to take a look at that with that nice dip and just see. I'll look at it in the morning, CRVO, and see what that's up to. But yeah, keep an eye on it and see if it tries to bounce. Like I said, I think it would have to pull itself back up out of the basement, bounce off that line rather than try to bounce where it's at in the basement up. So just keep an eye for that one, and that's what I would be looking at right there. At least that's what it looks like to me. HOOD is Robinhood, and this was coming down, and crypto was pulling back. So just keep an eye on this. It could come back down to that 20 at $36 area, and it did come down to 37.19. It's at 37.36 right now. So these ones were way at the top, and like I say, that's why you don't want to chase them, even though they stayed up there for a little while. You have to be very, very careful of them because they can start pulling back at any moment, like they are, and then you'll get caught up in them. So DHAI, let's see what DHAI has AI in its name. I mean, it's probably going to do well. Everything is, whether it's got AI or anything, it's has to do with AI. As long as it has it in the name, it's kind of benefiting. But this one, DHAI, is a medical device company, and this one was up 39 cents, and it is trying to get into the top right there. So it's not looking bad at all. And it went from 163 to 199. It's at 185 and still looks good to run up into that top tomorrow, and was a nice little setup there. So keep an eye on that DHAI. Could keep its momentum right there. And let's see what else is there. XTIA. Let's look at that one and see what that XTI aerospace is doing. Still just dragging that bottom. Has that weird look today because it probably opened and closed right at the same spot. And again, it's just sitting right there, just waiting to do something. Not sure when it's waiting to get back up over that 5 cents, but it needs to just get up there, and it's not very hard. It's right there at 4, and so it's just teetering with it and dragging that bottom line. So keep an eye on it. It's gonna pop up. It's just a matter of when it does it. TWG, Top Wealth Group. Let's see. And this one's been pulling back there. I know it had run up that one day as it was setting up. And these are still doing the same thing. They cross through and still kind of pull back as they run up there. So this one's kind of doing the same thing. 27 back to 25. It's at 26. Not really looking anything crazy right there. We'll look to see if it tries to bottom out, but that's TWG, and I'll keep an eye on that one. VVOS, let's see, Vivos Therapeutics. This one has been running up. I know we looked at this a while ago. I think this one might be trying to top out, but it looks like it's trying to move there in the after hours. Let's see. It opened at 468. It got up to 478, and it's at 475 right now. And what's this one say? 475. So yeah, I would be careful with this. It's way up there, and this one could easily pull back out of the basement or out of the basement, pull back from the top and come down to reset up, because it's just in the top and it has that look. I don't know how long it's going to stay up there. And that's VVOS. So yeah, I would watch for that to try to pull back a little bit and then try to get a better price for that guy. And what's that? ZONE. This one looks like it's trying to get back into the zone here in the after hours. It was pulling back today. It hit that line right down there, a little support line, and just went nutty in the after hours. It opened at 128 and it ran up to 239. Its low is 124 and it closed at 218. So it did run up there in the after hours. Finviz just says 128 to 220, but just kind of shows it down here at that 128. But it does say it ran, and it did. It ran up and it's closed at 239 there, or at what? I mean, 218. I'm sorry. Got up to 239, closed at 218, and does look pretty decent to stay in the zone up there. So we'll have to see that one in the morning because it did run up so much in the after hours. So ZONE, that's one we had looked at before. I remember it ran up and then it pulled back and then it just ran up again. So ZONE, we'll look at it and see if it wants to continue up. How about that Blue Jay Diagnostics, BJDX? This one recently ran up last week, December 5th, which was last Thursday, and it looks like it's trying to crawl up and run up higher than it was. It was at like that 719 area, and it looks like it's going to try to get cruising again and go higher than that. Actually, it ran higher than that in the after hours. I remember now. It got up to 947 on here, and that was on the 5th. And yeah, it does look like it's going to try to get moving again and run up high like that. So keep an eye on it. BJDX looks like it is setting up there and looking pretty decent. Let's look at CDT and see what CDT is up to here. That's that Conduit Pharmaceuticals. I know we looked at this a while back and a lot of times, and this thing actually does look great to roll off of there and get cruising. I'd keep an eye on this bad boy. It looks like it's going to cruise tomorrow, 9 cents to 10. It's at 9 right now, and it is looking good. I would say look for that to try to run up there. CDT and RIME, that rhyme. Let's see what you're up to. Rhyme is just kind of building that base down there. It was trying to run up yesterday, it did. And today it's just back down to 10 cents. Yesterday it got up to 13, over a little over 13. And it's staying in the basement right here. But it will set up again. They run up a little bit and then they as it's trying to get out of the basement, and then sometimes they don't get out, they bounce back down to set back up, and then they move again. So just watch for that bounce around on RIME, and that's what you get with these cheaper penny stocks, especially at 9 cents. They're very volatile, and sometimes they don't get right out of the basement like that, so they will pull back on you, and then you have to look for them to set back up, and that's kind of what RIME did, rhyme. So we will watch it and see what it wants to do. And how about Boyle? We'll look at that because it was up 2 cents, and I'm telling you, Boyle is getting hot. And cold is looking kind of chilly over here. So cold looks like it wants to dip down and come curling through and go right down through the MACD. And Boyle does look pretty hot here. So I would say Boyle's heating up and cold is getting chilly. And again, that is the natural gas, and Boyle is the bull one, right? Is the ProShares Ultra Bloomberg natural gas 2 times. So yeah. And yeah, you're gonna see these ones kind of reverse now because Boyle's been bearish for a while, and actually Boyle recently split. So you're going to see this one try to get bullish and start moving, and KOLD, cold, is going to get chilly and cool down and start dipping down there. So there you go for Boyle and cold. And MGNI, that Magnite. This one took a nice dip to yesterday and today, but I'll tell you what, it is setting up. So keep an eye on this thing, MGNI. It could be setting up right off of this 20. It does look like it might be held up here at that 1681, and that's exactly basically where you're at, 1676 right there. And see if it can curl back up tomorrow, and it'll be in good shape. It is setting up to be bullish, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not sure what happened here. It just says somebody Ad Solutions renews their global partnership with them, and then it dips. So I'm not exactly sure what the heck just happened, but it does look pretty good on that dip right there. So I would keep an eye on for that bounce right there, and that is MGNI right there. And how about BBAA? BBAI is Big Bear AI Holdings, and this did run up yesterday, I believe. We were looking at it, and it did. It ran up yesterday. It got up to like that 449, a little higher up in the top, and it's pulling back today. It was down 55 cents, BBAI, and yeah, just kind of pulling back. We'll see if it tries to make this base right here. But another one we were looking at way before, but we were also looking at the other day, and it just ran up. And another one that has a AI in it, and it just is moving. Everything is like that. VTAK, catheter precision medical device. I thought it's a catheter. I was like, wait a second. But yeah, I remember looking at this thing before, and this thing's curling up really good. Actually, it's hitting that 20 right there at about 41 cents. And make sure it gets through through there, VTAK, but it is looking good. And like I said, you do want it to get up over that 41 cents, and I believe it should. And the next resistance will be around 47, then it's open. So VTAK not looking bad. So keep an eye on that one as well. That one looks like it's trying to set up and get moving. It was running today, but looks pretty good. PW, that one's still pulling back. And like I said, I'll let you guys know when that one's ready. It's just not ready yet. It ran way up, and you could clearly see that on the charts that it was pulling back. And yeah, it should come back around the 130s. It's at 159, maybe stays in the 140s and starts trying to roll back up. But we'll clearly see that one and know exactly when it wants to come back up. And I know a bunch of people are looking at it, so we'll make it our new holo and we'll tell them exactly when it goes back up. So there you go, a PW, but it is pulling back there. And it's doing exactly what it looks like it wants to do. VNRX, let's see that one. VNRX just down a little bit. This one's got a little setup coming up and has a weird look right there. Let me see VNRX. Let me see. Oh, wow, it did run up today in the after hours. It appears 65 to 86 and back to 64. And this one did have a close of 58. Says it ran up to 73. And but yeah, this one says it did run. I'd have to look at this in the morning. It does look like it's still trying to crawl up. It did run in the after hours, so I'd have to get a better look at it. But it doesn't look too bad. SBFM is that Sunshine Biopharma, and this one was down 9 cents, but also popped back up 7 in the after hours. And this thing is definitely setting up. You can see it. That 20 and 50 are trying to meet up. It's just pulling back as it's going to roll right off that MACD. So it even pulls back into this channel. It could in 269 to exactly where it's at, 283, 289. And it could be in that little channel real quick as it sets up and pulls back and makes room. So watch for a little pullback on that, but it will be setting up there, SBFM. And we looked at CDT just now and VMEO. I believe that's Vimeo. Let me see, VMEO, if I could type it in. Yeah, Vimeo. And that is a video company. And what is it doing? It's curling up. It just got into the top. It ran up today. It wasn't looking bad at all. It was just hitting a little uh, resistance, but still looking good. I mean, this thing should get moving. I don't know what Vimeo has going on down here, but it does look pretty good. They appointed a Ryan Weeks as Chief Information Security Officer. So that was the other day on the 3rd. So it didn't look like it got too crazy there. It's just been steadily going up. It popped up today, and we'll have to see. It got in the top, and it's trying to crawl through. Keep an eye on it. It's hard to tell if it wants to run through that resistance up here at about 789, 790 right there, where it got up to. So we'll have to take a look at that VMEO. And how about BQ? Let's see what BQ's doing. That's a China small capper. It was trying to run up here and looks like it tried to pull. It ran up and pulled back. Let me see. BQ. It did. It ran up at some point today. 42. It opened at 42, and then it came back to 35. What it closed at yesterday? 36. So it gapped up a little bit and then pulled back. Still just kind of setting up. So let it set up, and it looks like that bottom was the other day at that 33 cents. So we're just at 34. Let it pull back a little bit and set up, and it will get moving. And that is BQ. And let's see what HPH is up to real quick. HPH, let's see. Here we go. HPH. That's that highest performance holdings. And it did try to run up yesterday. Still looks like it's in a good spot. Just a little pullback right there, HPH. But yeah, still not looking bad right there. So I would keep my eye on that. 36 down to 33, and that's where it's at, but still looking good. See if it comes back any further down tomorrow, but it should try to bounce back up or stay flat at least tomorrow. So keep an eye on it. You don't want it to really pull back much more than that 32 area. So that is HPH. And let's look at some of our laptop travel ones. AKYA. Let's see what this is doing. This one actually was already running up there, curled through and ran up. AKYA. And yeah, that one ran up today, as a matter of fact, 242 to 397, and it's at 236. So I'm not sure about that because it already ran up. APTX, I'm not sure I even see that one. Let me see if it's on here. APTX. I don't know what I wrote down. APTX. I thought I'll have to look. I don't see that one, but I'll check it out and see what it looked like on the list if I wrote it down right. BRAG is Bragg Gaming Group. This one is on its way up right here. It was moving up today. BRAG. And like I said, it was cruising 330 to 384. It's at 375. It wants to get into the 420s right there. So keep an eye on BRAG. It looks like it wants to keep some momentum right there. And how about CMCL? See what that's doing. That's some mining company, and that one is looking really good as well. Caledonia Mining, UK company, and that is CMCL. And let's see, yeah, it just got to jump right up over that 1081. It's at 1075. It got up to 1082 today, and that looks like it wants to continue moving. CMCL, so that looks good. And CMLS, let's see what Cumulus Media is doing. This one's about to cruise up, so keep an eye on CMLS. That looks like it's about to run some more. So CMCL and CMLS both look good right there. And also, let's look at what is it? FOLI. Let me see that one. FOLI. Oh, let me type it in. FOLI. Let me see if that's what I wrote there. Nope, that's probably a C. FOCI. That's not even it either. What did I even put there? I have no idea. FO. See, nah, I don't even know. I have to go back and look at that one too. Definitely looks like an L or a C, but I have no idea. How about FORA? FORA, and I can actually see tonight. My new light came. I'm so excited, and I can see these with no problem. So I have no idea what that says. Um, but I'll look at it. FORA. That one's up a penny, and that one's getting so. Ooh, that's a nice curl up. That's making one of them hard curl ups, and it's going to get cruising, guys. Definitely keep an eye on that bad boy right there. FORA looking really good. FTCI. Let's see what that's doing. FTCI, and that's FTC Solar, and that is curling through and moving up. It's on its way up. So that looks like it wants to keep some momentum there. Just keep an eye on it. Does look like it wants to get in between this channel at 375 and run up into them 470s. So keep an eye on FTCI because that could get moving as well. MEC, let's see. MEC is Mayville Engineering Company, and that's a metal fabrication company. And let's see, it is just sitting on the 20. It was pulling back just a little bit. MEC, and let me see. It's just sitting right there. I mean, it could easily run. It ran up yesterday to 1757. You're at 1688 right now. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow, and that's MEC MPLN. Multiplan Corp. Now this one's in a good spot, guys. That one's gonna get cruising for you. That's MPLN, and like I said, it's just right in the right spot. It was up 29 cents. Let me see if it ran in the after hours first. MPLN. And it just 666 is what it opened at. There you go. And it was up to 724. It's at 713. And you should have a multi-runner tomorrow because that looks like it has a multi-plan to run 2 days. And it was up today, and it looks like it wants to go up tomorrow. So keep your eye on MPLN because it's looking pretty decent right there. And NTWK, let's see what this NetSol Technologies. I thought it was going to be something with network in it, but NetSol Technologies is a software application company, and that one appears to be trying to curl up right there. Not looking bad at all. It just looks like it's been trying to set up and trying to curl up. And yeah, it doesn't look bad. It's right there in the right spot trying to get there. So keep an eye on that one. That one is setting up. OPRX. Optimize RX, and this one, another one in a good spot, OPRX. So keep your eye on this. Let me see. I would say this one wants to run up it has some resistance at that 570 area, but once they get through it, it looks like tried to yesterday. As a matter of fact, it got up to 585. So that one looks really good too. OPRX. So keep an eye on that. SNCR. SNCR. Here we go. And this one is at $10. Just a little pullback, but it is setting up right there. SNCR. And yeah, it ran 1037, came back down to 936. It's at 10. It looks like it could just be setting up. I'd have to look at that tomorrow. TSQ. Let's see Town Square Media. This one appears to be, let me see what it's trying to do here. It is curling back. It just ran up and it's just pulling back a little bit, but nothing crazy. So just let that kind of pull back and roll off is what it looks like. TSQ, it's just like one of them ones you can't really tell. It does at the 20 and 50 want to meet up, and what it do 1024 to 1001. It's a 1014, and yeah, it's just trying to set up is what it looks like. So it doesn't have much time, but it is just setting up right there. And ULBI, let's see what that's doing down here at 775, and this one is getting set up as well. So keep your eye on this Ultra Life Corp, ULBI. And yeah, that one looks good to try to continue up. So that one looks pretty good. And I jotted down a couple other ones that just caught my eye tonight. Real quick, I just happened to see them. ASRT, we had looked at it before, that Assertio Holdings, and it was up 2 cents, up three in the after hours. It looks like it wants to roll off and get moving, guys. So I know we were looking at it a couple weeks ago. ASRT, it's right in that channel. It does look good. It looks good on my chart. So keep an eye on that because that looks good. Mogu. This thing was looking good. This is one of them China ones. It's at 216, and it just been running around. I mean, each day it runs around a little bit, at least like 10 cents or 20 cents. And it does. It just looks like it wants to get curled up. It's trying to make that hard curl up. I'll look at it tomorrow, but that one could get moving. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's an internet retail in China, and that's MOGU Mogu, and then Wint WINT. I know we looked at this a while back. It's way down here at 37 cents. They just recently had one of them gray E's, and it ran up and it's just in the bottom, like just in the basement, like just under that line, and it is curling up, and it looks like it made that bottom and based out down here. WINT. It looks nice and cheap, so keep an eye on it because it looks pretty good to try to set up and run right there. So keep an eye on that, and that's WINT, and also WISA is another one that looked pretty decent real quick, and it looked like it was curling up pretty hardcore and was had based out. So that's at WISA Technologies, WISA. And again, that one 167 to 171. It's at 166 today, and it is just trying to curl up. I'll look at it tomorrow, but just a couple to look at. They grabbed my attention as I was just cruising through, and so I figured I'd share them with you. So take a look at them. Let's look at a couple of these ones. NNE, and these are the nuclear ones. And this sector, we'll take a look at it and just see. It might be pulling back because a lot of them had just recently run up. So we'll see where they're at. NNE is running back, but has some support down here at 21. It's in 23s right there. And let's look at OKLO. And that one is pulling back, hitting that support too. So they could be getting set up. I knew they were pulling back a little bit, and they're right down there. So I'm going to keep my eye on them and see if they do want to get moving. That DXYZ is one of them, considered one. It's an ETF, but this thing's still in the top, and I mean, it's just a monster back up here at $61. So this thing's just been wild. That DXYZ. LTBR, that light bridge. This is an electrical equipment and parts one, but this one is curling up right here and looks pretty good. LTBR. So keep an eye on this one because it is setting up. LTBR. Here we go. Yeah, that one's trying to set up right there. So keep your eye on that. That's got a setup going on. Um, AQST, let's see what that's doing. AQST. And that one's just pulling back and hitting that bottom, but setting up to be super bullish. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And let's see, XOFR. Let's see what X4 Pharmaceuticals is doing. That one's actually run up there, hitting that top. So keep an eye on that. But that could, we'll see if it wants to get into the top tomorrow. Let me see what it did in the after hours right here. XFOR hit 52 to 72, and it's at 67. It could get into the top tomorrow. It could be a little momentum play right there. And BPTH, let's see what Biopath Holdings is doing. This one just got out of the basement, is curling up. It is running up, got over to 20 today. It's at 74 cents. BPTH, and it is not looking bad at all. So keep an eye on that one. That one's still setting up. And TNFA, let's see what that's doing here. TNFA, TNF Pharmaceuticals, and that had run up yesterday. I remember we looked at it, and today what it do? Let me look. TNFA on mine, and it did. We're on 154 to 170, and it came back down to 135. It's at 147 right now. It could be pulling back, but it could be pulling back just to set back up right there. So I'll keep an eye on that as well because it did run up the last 2 days there, and it just has one of them looks where it could pop up again some more and get into the top tomorrow. I can't really tell, to be honest with you. So I'd have to look at that in the morning. But there you go with that one right there. And let's go ahead. We'll run through our crypto real quick, and then I'll take some messages. We'll look at our big caps and all that, and then I'll go through some of the ones that Trump, the administration, they'll be good for the Trump administration, some of the sectors and stocks, and we'll go through that real quick. So here we go. So let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll take a look at crypto. Ripple had some really good news today, something going on with one of their coins. Someone okayed it or something. I forget what it even was, to be completely honest with you. I'm trying to remember, and I can't even remember off the top of my head. It's like I can't even remember what it was. I posted it, so I'll look it up real quick. But anyway, Bitcoin's at 97,000, and it is back up a little bit. And let's just see what is going on here. Oh, I got to do that. I was gonna say something looked weird. Let me look at the chart here, and it is like I was saying, the 10 and 30 are coming down to meet each other, and it looks like they're just gonna kind of squeeze it, and then they're gonna pop off of it, and then the 10 will get rolling back up. That's what it appears like to me right now at the moment. You know how these things like to change, but I'm just telling you what I see at the moment. So Ethereum's at 3,641, and let's see what that's doing. Another one coming back down through the 10. The 10's coming down. It's going to hit that 30 right there. Probably make a base and then gets moving back up. So that's Ethereum. Ripple is back to 230. And again, it had some kind of good news. I'll have to look it up, or someone posted. I forget what it even was. And did have a huge dip today. But it does, honestly, it doesn't even look like it's got to get up over that 10 right there if it wants to really get moving. So it could still dip down pretty good, Ripple. So I'll be watching that tonight for sure. And let's look at Cardano's at 101 right there. And that one's hitting that 10 right. Yeah, it came back down. It's in the 50 and the RSI, and it is hitting the 10, hitting the 30, and the 10's coming way down. So we'll have to take a look at them. They're not giving you an exact look. Doge came down to 38 cents right here. So, and that one is pulled back down through the 10, obviously coming down through the 30 and making its way down. So that's Doge at 38. And let's look at Chainlinks at 22. Sheeb is down in like the 2 cent or whatever it is. It's down just a little bit, but that one's making a base right here. It curled through coming down, and it is making a base right there on that 30. So we'll see what it wants to do. If it wants to continue to go down, it could, but it's caught itself up. Let's just look at WIF real quick, see what that's up to. And that one's down to 286 at the moment. And that one is pulled back and going down. So we'll look and see when that wants to get curled up. And Bonk right here. Let's look at Bonk. and that one's down a little bit as well. And let's see, Bonk is pulling back, hopefully making a base right there. It's way down there. So maybe Bonk is making that base and trying to get cruising back up. So there you go with your crypto right there. And let me know if you just want to look at any other ones. But like I said, they're kind of just pulling back. We'll have to see what they want to do. I'll keep an eye on it and keep you updated. And like I said, Bitcoin could get squeezed right there. It's right there in that spot, and it could change them all around real quick. So that's what you're looking for, and at least what I'm going to be looking for as well. So we'll see. And if Ripple wants to jump down, or obviously it'll run up if Bitcoin does too. So. There's your crypto, and let's go ahead and see what you guys want to look at. I'll go through the messages, and then we'll go through our big caps, and then we'll check out the ones that should do well under the Trump administration. So here we go. Let me take a look. And CELH, let's look at that, Sean. CELH. Whoop, I just put in the wrong thing. Here we go. Celsius Holdings, and this one's getting curled up, dude. This one's going to get moving. CELH. Yeah, I would say you're about to get cruising here. You're 20 and you're about to get cruising. You're 20 and 50. You're gonna set up right here and just get booming right there. So I would say you're getting set up to move. If anything, if it's gonna pull back, it's pulling back down here to where its low was yesterday, which was 28.25, and you're at 30.89. So I think you're gonna get moving there with CEL. I think that one looks good. And let me look at BWEN. Broadwind Inc. Let's see what that's doing. It's that one's not looking bad too. Just a little healthy pullback. It looks like BWEN. Let me see on mine. Yeah, I think you got another setup right there. I think you got two of them that are winners right there, Sean. So keep your eye on them because they look good. Let's see what RNG is up to right here. Let's look at that chart right now. RNG and see what that's up to. Ring Central. And it did run up yesterday and pull back today. Has that look like it wants to bounce back up some more? RNG. Let me see on mine. And that's what it looks like to me. I can't promise you. It's at 41.23. We can definitely look at it tomorrow. It's an interesting one. It is bullish right there. And it does have that look like it would like to bounce up. It just kind of curled down today. Little pullback. But yeah, it doesn't look bad to me at the moment. So we can definitely look at that, the optionist, and see what that's up to tomorrow morning. RNG, let me write that down up here. And I just interested to see what that's doing. That's a technology and software company. And like I said, it's just curling down, but I could see it getting back up there with no problem. And there we go with that. And WBD, that Walgreens, right? Isn't that what that is? Or that's Warner Brothers. Okay. Remember, we were looking at this way down here, and I was telling you Warner Brothers had something going on. And I mean, it was way down here. I forget exactly when, but it was definitely way down here, at least in the nines, could have been lower. And it's at 1089 right now. And it does. It looks like it wants to try to curl back up tomorrow and stay up in the top. So let me see on mine what it did in the after hours. WBD. Yeah, it looks pretty healthy. I mean, it's not one that I would necessarily be chasing up there because it wants to jump up into the top. Um, but again, we looked at it way down there and knew, and I would run it up to around here, maybe stretch it out another day because it still looks like it wants to run up tomorrow. But it could have topped out yesterday too at that 11.29. So just be careful. It's a hard one. WBD, that's at Warner Brothers. And again, that's why I love to get in them super early, and then I don't have to really worry about them up there. And I don't mind if I sell them a little early and they go up some more. I already know I locked in profits, did really well, and it's perfectly fine with me. It was stress free and not worrying about no headaches. So, just the way I look at it, obviously has everyone has their own trading styles. And again, I was big penny stock trader for a very long time there and did very well. I think the market has definitely changed with penny stocks. I talk about it all the time. I'm just not one that can get up at the moment with my lifestyle and a brain injury now at 4 a.m. to trade these guys on Web Bull. So it just to me is not worth it, to be honest with you. You can't be buying them in your E-Trade account if you're not going to, or even in a Web Bull account, if you're not willing to be up at 4 a.m. every single day, because that's when these things are moving. And yeah, you can go back to bed pretty soon because they pop up and come back down. But still, I mean, you got to be up every single day at 4 a.m. to be ready to rock and roll. And I'm just not able to do that right now, and that's perfectly fine. So I like to pivot in life and see what different opportunities are available and jump on them. And again, the options are just awesome. You don't even have to worry about pre-market. You can't even trade them until 9:30 and they stop at 4. So you're not really worrying about the after hours so much either. I mean, it pops up some more, but you're just like, well, we'll see if it holds up in the morning, or you already got out of it and you go, well, we'll see if that, ran up a lot more tomorrow, but it's whatever. And yeah, the options are just awesome. And again, the big caps are just so much easier to see and be able to trade them. They're just simple. And I'm just about finishing that video. That's why I wanted to kind of get cruising. I left the list a little shorter so I can blast through and trying to finish up some video stuff and doing a bunch of other things. So it's going to get that wrapped up so I can show you guys, because you saw what I did with the Google ones today, and they were just a few. I have two accounts and I had a bunch of them. The other, I had more in the other account, and I'm telling you, it was a crazy day with Google, and I have a feeling it's probably going to go up some more with that kind of news that they had. But we'll look at that very shortly. But yeah, Warner Brothers, like I said, I like to get them down there and run them up and then not worry about it. That's just my style and the way I like to look at them. But that's what it looks like right there. And boom, there you go. And let's see, Elab, let's see, we did look at it. I forget what I even said with it. So let me look at it again. ELAB. Oh yeah, that one's right in the right spot, guys. I mean, it should curl out of the basement tomorrow. I told you guys yesterday it was in the right spot, and today it moved 47 cents over 22%, and it looks still good. So there you go, Daniel Lewis. And I mean, you couldn't have nailed that one. I know I've been telling you it was in the right spot, but last night I was saying, I mean, it's right there. You could see it. And bam, there you go with that one. QSI, let's look at that one real quick. Let's see what that's up to. That's at Quantum SI Incorporated. And that one ran up in the actually watch this tomorrow, guys. QSI, because this one looks like it's going to keep that momentum in the top there. QSI. So I would keep an eye on that one in the morning. That one could continue to run up. So thank you right there on QSI. And let's see, I think I got all the messages. If anyone else, plug, yeah, I didn't even look at that. Plug you. Like I said, I just kind of left the list a little shorter and wanted to see what you guys want to see. So whatever you guys want to look at, shoot them over. And again, I'll run through the scanner and everything, and we'll check out that and see what's going to be popping. But honestly, like I've been saying, I'll look at any of the charts. I'll look at them all the time. But I'm just at the point where I want to pick the best opportunity that you can just ride it and you're most confident with. I'm not trying to trade 10 of them anymore. I think one or two is great. And when you're that confident and you load up on it like a Google today, I'm telling you, you won't be trading penny stocks ever again. I guarantee it. I promise you, you will never will. And I hit 100%ers nonstop. So this thing's wow. I mean, you saw it. I posted the percentages so you guys could see the one account, and that wasn't even that much. I mean, I only had a few options. I think the one was like three options, and the other one might have been one. And in my other account, I had a lot more than that. And yeah, the things went nutty, and they're all over 150%. I'm telling you, every single call goes over 150%. Like it's no big deal, and it's amazing. We're in big caps and Mag Sevens with 150%. That was Friday I bought that, and Tuesday it's over 100, almost 200%. So It's pretty impressive right there. And yeah, the profits are ridiculous. I mean, I'm telling you, they are insane, and I'm not putting that much into them. So there you go with that. And like I said, I want to definitely get that video up there for you guys so you can watch that and we can have a lot of fun together. Because I know I told you a while back, I said around Halloween it would be getting good, Thanksgiving it would be getting great, and around Christmas and New Year's it'd be getting amazing. And then I'll look at it. I mean, I'm just showing you guys, and they're like I said, they're just easy ones. We're gonna easily have 10K days, like it's no big deal. I have a feeling Google could do it tomorrow because, like I said, the one I had in my other account was way up, and yeah, if it goes up some more tomorrow, it could easily do it. So there you go with that. And like I told you, you just load up on the ones that you're real confident on, and you know it's gonna go. That chart looked amazing last week. I kept saying it was gonna move. I didn't know what the hell. I don't even look at the news. I don't care, but that news was crazy. Like I said, it even took that the CEO announced it yesterday, like noontime. He tweeted it out. And like I said, I think it kind of went right over everybody's head. I don't even understand what the heck he's really talking about. You got to be kind of like a genius to figure like what they've really figured out is like beyond most what most people use that technology for. We'll put it that way. I'm definitely not using it for that, so I know that. And but yeah, like scientists and people that are really bright and doing like real studies and stuff, this is like a really big deal, and it's something that they've been trying to do for like 30 years, and they finally just cracked the code, I guess. So that's pretty impressive. And yeah, I would imagine that the stock will go up some more. So that's Google. But let's look at Plug, Plug. And this one was plugging away there. Let's see what it wants to do today. Plug, that one was down a little bit. Honestly, just going to probably pull back a little bit. Could come back to that 237 area and then set up again to get bullish. So Plug should try to base out a little bit around here, maybe pull back some and then get cruising. So that will be Plug right there. And again, that one we were in super, super early for that one. So that's just the way that I like them. And again, I don't really necessarily like to hang out for them. Once they run up, kind of, you kind of get your big pop out of it. I don't really necessarily want to be hanging out while it's basing out and trying to run up again. I'll allocate that money for the next popper, and then when that one's ready, we'll hit it. So that's like sort of like that PW. Like I said, it had run up. A lot of people were talking about it, and I said I'll let you guys know when it's ready to run again. There's no reason to be jumping in it while it's pulling back or trying to set up or do anything else besides running up. Just like when we looked at ELAB, and you just know it's right there within days, and that thing gets cruising. So that's what we're trying to really zero in on. And like I said, just take the best opportunities, zero in on them. And when you're really confident with it and you know it's going to roll, you just load up on it. I mean, I'm not telling you to put your you don't get crazy, but you can see I literally learned how to trade options myself in the last few months, and I started with the small ones and would buy one and just kind of messed around, and even with the big ones, I was only buying one, and now, like I said, the one account I had three of them out Google options, the other account I had a bunch, but I just started to load up on them because I started to kind of get it, and I said, hey, I want to make sure that I really get it, so I'm confident in this, and let's see if it does what I want it to do, and boom, it's doing what I want it to do, and I'm impressed, honestly. It's crazy what it's doing, and I can see options can be a great thing, especially this coming year, 2025. We're going to slaughter this market, so it's going to be amazing. So that's why I want to get that video up for you. But yeah, that's all. That's my mindset for it. And again, I was explaining that the other day, but I just want to tell you where we're trying to move to, and just hit the best ones. And it's so easy. Like I said, it's pretty stress free. And when your account's up thousands like that in a day, you're pretty excited, especially those that obviously work go to a real job and you're working and then you're hitting these on the side like that, you're going, holy cow, this is wild. Like I'm going and clocking into a job and I'm making more just pushing a button for 2 minutes. And then after a while, you roll them over, you won't be going back there. So let's look at you and see what that's doing. Unity software, it is just pulling back. It was just in the top. It hit that resistance up there and it's coming back down. So I would wait for it to pull back. Maybe it'll base out down here at like 24 area and 25, 24. It's in 26 and coming back down. So yeah, just let that one pull back a little bit, and we can check that out again. And that is you right there. And let's go ahead and take a look at some other ones, the big caps and all them. Let's see what they're doing. We can look at some of the ETFs, and again, we'll look at the ones that should benefit under the Trump administration. So here we go. We'll look at the SPY, see what it's up to here. It was down $1.88 and let it pull back a little more. I wouldn't mind it, but I think it might have to go back up tomorrow because it doesn't like to go down very much 2 days unless it's going to really dip tomorrow because it's hitting that line right there. I have a feeling it's going to try to bounce back up. But maybe it will curl back down and come back down into the 599. It's at 602. It says 603 in the after hours here. But yeah, I'm not so sure. It's trying to. It does. I don't know. I have to see it. It's just hitting that line right now. It could easily go through it real lightly and curl right back up. It could roll off it and go up. So it's pretty much a coin flip right there, but let's go through them and see what they look like. Apple AAPL, this was up $1 too, and it's way up at the top right there. And I have a feeling that one's topping out. And another one, remember I had that. I had bought it like a month ago. I bought the Apple one. I bought a couple of them, and it went way up there. I posted that, and then I even posted the other one. I bought the ETF for a month out, and that was AAPU, and that thing is up. And I only bought, I think, one of them, and yeah, it's up like over $1,500 just on that one alone. And yeah, that'll get sold off tomorrow. I think my expiration is the 20th on that. So I remember I bought them like a month apart, and just I was kind of experimenting. But yeah, what a hell of an experiment, right? And the I remember the Apple one was up over $1,400. That one real quick, and then this one's up over. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's a piece of cake. You just pick the ones that you like, and that one's just been running up for me for a straight like couple weeks now, and getting up there. And like I said, it'll get sold off, and it's gonna be a perfect little option hit right there. The only thing I wish I did was buy a bunch more of them because that would have been a major hit. So yeah, you buy like 5 or 6 of them, and you're in 10 grand area right there, $1,500 a pop. So there you go. And they weren't even expensive; they were super cheap. So I'm telling you, it's wild, and that's why I want to show you guys what's up, what I've been up to. And I'm telling you, it doesn't seem like it's a very conventional way to do it, but I don't know if I tapped into something or if it's just I think it's just solely because we can look at the chart so well and pick exactly what they're going to do, when they're going to do it. And now I understand the expiration dates and how far off you want to be at the and maximize your profits and everything. And like I said, I can kind of zero in and hit almost every one of them for over 150% plus 200% within days on these big caps. And I never even thought that was even possible. So that's why I always traded penny stocks because I could do it with them. But now you can do it with these, and it's so easy. I don't have to worry about them dipping down in 15 minutes, running up in 3 minutes, and coming back down. I'm not worrying about it at all. These things are just running up higher. I can wait until the end of the day almost every single time that whatever I want to sell it, and it's almost up higher than when it was at the beginning of the day. So it's really really simple, and I'm even leaving meat on the bones and letting go of them a little. Again, they expire, and I want to be like almost a week out. I kind of figured you want to be like 4 to 5 trading days out, and you can kind of maximize it. You don't want to be right on top of that expiration date. It kind of deteriorates even if you're way up on it. You still want to let go of it because I think that the idea is, and I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I'm guessing the idea is it gets sold off and then someone else takes that option and tries to do something with it. That's what I'm assuming, so I'm not exactly sure. So if you let it kind of get right to the expiration, nobody else can do anything with it. So it will kind of deteriorate a little bit. So there you go. That's just what I've learned. And again, I've just kind of been teaching myself for the last couple, like month or two. You guys know what I've been doing. I've been telling you everything. And yeah, I just been kind of cruising along and loving it. So I will show you guys exactly. And I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident with it. And here we go. Amazon was in the top. Looks like it's pulling back. It could easily bounce back up tomorrow. Again, if that market wants to bounce up, it all depends on how the SPY is. To be honest, the market conditions are going to be everything for tomorrow, especially for Amazon right there. I think Google can keep moving no matter what. It went up $1.80, $1.07 in the after hours. It went up like 9.43 today. It was up over like 188. It's at 187 right now. So it does look like it's going to get right into that top and just keep moving. And I have a feeling it is. And it's going to be a huge smash. So keep your eye on Google right there. And I hope you guys were getting in on Friday because, like I said, it's definitely a beauty. Same with like the Tesla calls lately. Every time it runs up, it's just been a monster, like running up 30, $40, even more. Yeah, they're just beauties right there. It's crazy what they're doing. Meta is another one that ran way up there for us, and that's up today. And honestly, that looks like it wants to run back up into the top and get cruising again. So, like I told you guys, Zuckerberger had something going on, and he certainly did. And again, we picked the exact one that was going to run the most at that moment. Meta did it, Google just did it. Apple has done it. Snow did it. Literally took every single one that was completely set up perfectly and just ran with them. And I'm telling you, if I had loaded up on all of them, I probably would have made six figures in a month with no problem, easily. I know I would have. So, yeah, there you go. That's just to put it in perspective. And we just trading one. I mean, literally just one. I think one or two a week is perfect. And you can easily bang like 10K hits with no problem. And obviously you want to work up to that, but I'm just telling you what my mindset looks like, and that's how I see it. So and I told you guys it would get amazing. And most of you are saying, well, if I could just hit like a tenth of that, I'll be cool with it. And honestly, you definitely can. And that's why I'm just giving you a perspective. And I told you before, everybody has different numbers. I traded penny stock, so I used to trade big numbers and and a lot. So it got wild, and that's why I done pretty well. And again, it's not the same as it used to be. So I have that mindset sometimes, and even with these options, you're trading way less. You're obviously leveraging. For example, that Google I think was about $800. The one that I posted, I think the three calls cost about $800 total, and yeah, it was up over 2,500 a day. So easily, it was over like 26, 2,700 by the end of the day there, and tomorrow it'll be way up too. So and again, each day it gets closer to the expiration. It's perfectly played. It's exactly where you want to be on them. And yeah, I'll just explain what I do. And again, you just buy a couple of them, and it's gonna get beautiful. That was like my test run right there, Google, and yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. But again, I worked my way up to that, and I understand the risk and everything else, the probability, and that's what I always talk about. And I'll explain it all. And of course, you want to start extremely small, like the smaller ones, and just buy one and just get a feel for it. And once you get comfortable with it, it'll take a month and a half, and then all of a sudden it'll just start to click. And especially if you have questions, I can easily answer them. So it'll make it way easier. I was just doing it all myself and asking my buddy, but I was kind of taught myself a different method, I think. And but yeah, I can easily show people and you guys can get it. And again, I think if you can halfway look at stock charts, learn how to trade them smart and just apply this, it'll be a piece of cake. And again, you don't want to be getting crazy trading 10 of them. It just gets to be way too much. I used to do it with the penny stocks because so many would be popping at one time. I remember I'd have like 10 or 12 of them going, and that would be crazy. And luckily, I would just be doing it full time and could be focused on it. I could never do that right now. Like that wouldn't ever happen. So this works out perfect. It's beautiful. And like I said, it's so easy. It's like watching paint dry. You just know exactly what's going to happen, and you're never even concerned that Meta's going to dip. So it's not like I'm worried tonight. If I wake up tomorrow, is Meta going to crash down to the bottom? It's not happening, or even Google or whatever it is. I'm just making an example, but again, you're not worrying about it for the most part. So yeah, Meta looks like it wants to run back up, and Zuckerberg looks like he has something going on there, and Microsoft is down coming back. Remember, that one ran up for us faster than I thought. I said, just let it pull back and we'll get that one on the way up next time. And Nvidia, I think that might be your perfect little pullback. We'll see tomorrow, but I think you're just going to start to see it start to pop up. And if it's not tomorrow, it's definitely going to start getting set up towards the end of the week. And we'll look for them options and run that one up because that one's going to be a really good one next. You just want to get it at the perfect timing and the perfect bottom pricing there. So we're just going to watch that bad boy NVIDIA and I'll let you know when it's ready. And Tesla was running up TSLA and that one was up like 11.20 and some more in the after hours. And it looks like it wants to run up more in the top there. And it could very well possibly get right over that 412 and keep rolling. It got up to 409 today. So we'll see what it wants to do, and that is Tesla. AMC, that was down 6 cents, and I'm kind of surprised. I don't know what's going on with this. I think it's I know they don't have earnings. GameStop does, but someone said they were like diluting and doing something. I forget. Somebody told me something, but it does look like it might be the bottom today. So let's see if it can turn back around because I don't believe that 556 was as high as it wanted to get that day, and then it just came back down these last three trading days, and I think it wants to run back up. So we'll keep an eye on AMC, and let's look at GameStop. That one does have earnings coming up. Is it tomorrow, December 10th? It is today, right? They had earnings today. I don't have a clue what they did. It just has a green E, so I have no idea, and it looks like it's coming down. So I don't know, but we'll take a look at GameStop in the morning and see how that opens up. And it did have a crazy look. It opened at 27.80. It closed at 27.75. It ran up to 31, came down to 25.67. I couldn't tell you what the hell it wants to do after them earnings. So we'll look at that tomorrow. And how about Chewy CHWY? This one did have its earnings recently on the 4th last week, and it looks like it's trying to get curled back up. We'll have to see. It might be just making a base right here to get set back up, and that is CHWY Chewy. So yeah, it is just trying to make a base and get set up. So let's roll through the rest of these guys and see what Netflix is doing here. That one was down 34 cents. I think Netflix is going to try to pull back. It's way in the top. I wouldn't chase it, that's for sure. Although it looks like it just went way up in the after hours. So let me see. Hold on. I'll tell you. I can't really even tell. It doesn't say anything here. 9:16. It opened at 9:16 and closed at 9:16. Beautiful. Uh, yeah, I can't even tell what Netflix. I would have to assume it wants to come down if I had to guess, but I'd have to look at that one. AVGO, I think that was pulled back. Yeah, that was down like 7 cents. Had that weird look yesterday, like it didn't know what it wanted to do. And them earnings are coming up in 2 days, so let it have its earnings. Let it pull back, and then we'll take this one, AVGO, up. It's a semiconductor one, and that one has the ETFs with it, so we can play that. MU, let's see, that was down today as well, and that one's gonna set up. This one might have a really nice bounce. It looked like it was right there yesterday, like it wanted to move it, and today it came back down. So let's just see what it wants to do. What is it doing here? Let me look on mine because I can't even tell. It looks like it didn't even do anything. Uh, 102 to 105 came back down to 97 and it's at 98. So That's what it did today. It did run around, and they do have earnings coming up on the 18th. So that'll be next Wednesday. But I think it might set up right before that, to be honest. So we'll keep an eye on that MU and TSM. That was also down pretty good today. And let's see, that one's probably going to come down, could come down a little bit more into the 186. I'll look at it tomorrow, but we'll catch all these guys and run them back up perfectly. So these dip opportunities are beautiful because what I look for is these things coming back down as like Google's running up and some other ones are just in the middle of the play. Like, these ones are at the bottom, certain ones are getting set up perfectly. So you want to get in them, and Google's now running off. And that's how you have your little rotation. You have one, two, one or two, possibly three if they look real great. But you don't even need that many. Again, you can load up when you're confident and you know it's going to move, and boom, they just go flying. And yeah, the percentages are wild, and the profits are even crazier. So TSM again, pulling back, let it pull back, and we'll catch all these at the bottom. Same with SMCI. That one's about to get set up. It might come back down to that 37. So I was looking at them all today. None of them are ready. AMD still pulling back, but it's just about there. And I was just kind of like, "Ooh, I can't wait to play all these bad boys." PayPal was pulling back a little bit as well. Kind of topped out yesterday, and it will set up. It's still pretty bullish there. So PayPal still not looking bad, just pulling back. And that snow that was coming down. Remember, I said it was way at the top. It needed to pull back. Maybe it gets stuck at the 160. We'll see what it wants to do. But again, we ran that from 113, and so we make sure we get in plenty early. We run them up, and then boom, you take your profits and move them to the next one that's about to pop. QCOM's another one that we're going to be looking at to get run up there. So all these were just pulled back. INTC, the same thing. This one looks like it's hitting that bottom. I'm going to try to get set up relatively soon. So yeah, I've just been patient and looking at them all. And Disney's trying to run back up. I'm not so sure it wants to, but again, we got in that early. I'd rather see that pull back more. It ran into the top. Not worrying when you're in it at way down and it runs way up. So we were 95 to like 115 or 117. I mean, that's perfect right there. That's all you need. Oxy, another one, just waiting for it to get set up. It almost looked like it was trying to today for whatever reason. It's not, but it's definitely getting set up real soon. So keep an eye on that. And ExxonMobil, the same thing, just pulled back, but going to get set up real soon. XOM. And how about Mara and Riot? Mara was down, and Riot was also down, but Riot's setting up. They're both setting up really good. Riot's really setting up there. So keep an eye on that. RIOT, and again, Mara, MARA, is pulling back a little bit, but we'll get set up. So that's them two. And MSTR, that was up today. Don't ask me how, but again, that's why you do not want to short these guys because they can just crush you. And when they start moving, they go up like crazy. Was it up like $11 today or something? That's pretty good, over like almost $12 or so. It went from 373 up to its low is 356 and its high was 379, and it's sitting at 381. So it does say plus 1198. I don't even know how it got to that, but I'm not trying to figure it out either. MSTR though, I'm telling you, MicroStrategy, don't be surprised if it tries to jump back up over this 389 area and get cruising again. So keep an eye on it. Them options are very expensive, but that thing moves. Clearly it moves a lot, and it can really print them, but they aren't cheap. I'll tell you that. CLSK, this one was pulling back, and another one just let it pull back, and it'll get set up. We'll know that. Coin, the same thing, was pulling back, and again, we'll rock that one, that NCONL, and take them back up to the top. So these are just great opportunities for us. DJT was down $1. I'm kind of surprised. This one is setting up right here, and just a little healthy pullback, but I figured it would kind of stay more flat than anything. And it did just pull back there. We'll have to see what it wants to do. It'll probably just get set up and try to roll up off of there, I would assume. So keeping our eye on DJT, it was looking much better, but I think it'll still get set up and fun. This one was looking great too and pulled back a little bit today. And I think the same situation. It's crossed through, and I think it's just going to get set up, maybe take a little extra a week or so and extra week or so and then get set up. MTN still up and it ran up to almost like what 199 today and it's at 195 and again super early on this mountain MTN that Val one and I was telling you guys I wanted to cruise yesterday got to 200 today 199.44 and yeah it could be topping out right there but another one I mean super early and just ran way up there. McDonald's, MCD, this is at the 300 range and just making a base down here. And it's going to get set up and run up, but it's just taking its time. MCD and Boeing, I'm telling you, this company's valuable for this country. So they just keep pumping this thing up. I don't know how, but it is looking much better now. I mean, it was pretty bearish and going down. All of a sudden, it's running back up like crazy. So it is an aerospace, and it does say Boeing stock is taking off, and here's why. I'm curious what Yahoo says here. Um, Boeing is building a new 737 MAX planes for the first time since workers went on strike. So I guess maybe that's I guess they ended a strike, 33,000 workers. So I didn't even know, but maybe that's why it's bumping up. But again, it's a valuable company for the country, so that's not going anywhere. And Space SPCE, I'm surprised this one's pulling back because this one looked like it was super set up, and it just keeps on pulling back there. So we'll keep an eye on SPCE. Rivian was running up; it did pull back today. Yesterday could be its top, but it could bounce back up tomorrow. But again, they ran up. I mean, we knew this thing was running up from like what $10 and it ran up over 14. So at that point, you're pretty good. You see it getting into that top, and you see it. You know, it's not running up real hard after that. You just take your profits to the next one that's about to run up like that. No sense in sticking around and watching it bounce around. PLTR, this thing is pulling back there, and again, be very careful because it's hitting that MACD line, and we've seen them bounce right back up with no problem. So I would stay clear of trying to short it. Sophie, this one, the same thing. It's just pulled back 28 cents. It's down a little, but it's sitting right there on that 20 and can easily just burn you and go right back up. I'd be very careful with Sophie and what is it? PLTR. Couldn't even think of it. But yeah, be very careful with them. Dell, if anything, you're running them up when they have momentum. Be careful shorting them things because they could look like they want to dip down really hard and pop right back up on you. And if you don't sell them fast enough, they could burn you. So just be careful with them. Just warning you guys. Dell is dipping down like 7 cents. This is going to get really set up. And I'm telling you, we're going to have some great opportunities for a ton of them. So we're going to have our pick of whichever ones we want. We'll pick the best ones that we feel like are going to be popping the most and the best opportunities for the most profit. So that's what we're going to do. And like I said, you don't have to trade a bunch of them. You just have to trade a couple smart and you're going to make plenty. And Nike NKE is pulling back to that 76. We'll see if it bounces off. I think it's just in that channel we were talking about it, and this is basically the bottom of the channel, so it could bounce right back up there. And that's NKE Nike. Let's look at a couple of these ETFs real quick, blast through them real fast, and just see what a couple of them are doing. LMBO, that is the crypto one. It is dipping down. Obviously, crypto is pretty red. The yin and the yang. The yin was down way up yesterday, and the yang was way up today. And again, I don't know if they're really going to be bouncing that hard. They're hard to look at now. It did look like yesterday was the bottom for the yang, and it wants to be going. It wants to continue up, but I would be very careful because it is a hard look. They were much easier in the beginning when we started looking at that yin and the yang. We had it nailed. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a better idea, but I would like to take a look at them tomorrow. We did boil and gold, boil and cold, and Nug NUGT. This one was up 10 cents. This is that daily guy. I can't even talk. Daily gold miners index bull two times. And this one is trying to get cruising up, it looks like. So it does look like Nug is bullish here. It just kind of pulled back a little bit from yesterday. And the opposite is Dust, DUST. So that was up 3 cents too. And this one looks super bullish. Both of them look bullish. So I don't even understand. This one is the bear. So I have to keep an eye on them because they do look kind of weird. ERX. I don't even know what I just typed in. ERX, here we are. That's the energy bull, and this one's dipping down, but it should be bottoming out pretty soon. So let's see what that ERY is doing. And this one should be getting to the top soon, and that's the energy bear. So they should be changing directions relatively soon, and that's what we want to see, because that's when you want to get in them when they're going to change directions from that bottom and go to the top. QQQU is the Mag 7 bull, and this looks like it just topped out. It could be. It did go up $1 in the after hours, but it does have that weird look. I'll have to look at that tomorrow. And FNGG is another one. That's like the and New York Stock Exchange Fang bull two times, and that one did top out and is coming down, but super bullish. So maybe it's just making a base and running up. Like I said, the SPY is looking pretty good. It did pull back, but I think it's going to roll right back up there. And let's look at that U-bot right real quick. And that is down, and this thing's going to get set up. So, I mean, we're going to have so many great opportunities. They were running up, and honestly, we took the greatest opportunity, which was Google, and took that Friday and ran it up. So, well, all these bad boys are just running back. Gush running back right here. All of them are going to be perfect probably next week. They're going to be like a week out from the holidays. Christmas drip is going up. Looks like it wants to go up some more. And then, yeah, we're going to be smashing these things like crazy. And then Trump's going to be in office. And I'm telling you, it's going to get wicked. And we're going to be crushing everything. URAA is that uranium one. We looked at some of them. They're just pulling back. We'll let that set all up. SPXL. Let's see. That one is the bull, the S&P bull. That looks like it's coming down. Let's look at the SPX. Wait, yeah, SPXS. I can't even talk tonight. The bear one looks like it's about to pop. So we'll keep an eye on it because that means that the SPY wants to come down a little bit tomorrow. Almost what it looks like right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. TNA, the small cap bull, is coming down, and the TZA is going up here. So I knew that. I looked at them today, but it could be hitting the resistance. And DFEN is our aerospace and defense, and it's way down there, but it is could be bottoming out. I'll look at it and see if it wants to pull back into like the 31, 32 area. It's at 34, even 33s. So we'll see if it wants to pull back anymore. And there you go. That's a bunch of ETFs. Let me go ahead and grab this list of ones that the look good for the Trump administration here. I made a list right here. It's not on the list that I made, so I'm just going to go ahead and read my notes right here. Let me know if you guys want to see anything else or have any questions, and we'll run through them. And here we go. Ready? The technology sector. And these are ones that had done well before and ones that I feel like are going to do pretty well going forward. And I think you guys will probably agree, but we can kind of just keep an eye on them and you'll have an idea of where we're heading. Technology sector, the companies like Apple and Amazon, Microsoft, and Nvidia, they all saw significant growth due to the increasing demand for tech services and advancements in AI and cloud computing. Companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla thrive due to digital transformation, low interest rates, and the rapid adoption of cloud computing and e-commerce. And then the energy sector, the oil and gas companies benefited from deregulation and focus on U.S. energy independence. Notable stocks included the ExxonMobil CVX, which is Chevron, and ConocoPhillips COP. So we'll keep our eyes on them bad boys. And renewable energies also starting to gain traction. though the traditional fossil fuel companies remain dominant. So we'll see how that transformation starts to happen. And deregulation policies allowed oil and gas companies like ExxonMobil to expand drilling and export operations. So Trump's America First energy policy reduced restrictions benefiting the fossil fuel industry. So we can expect that. And again, you can see them starting to change. We just went through them and looked at the gush and the drip, and you can see it starting to change around the financial sector. The banks like J.P. Morgan Chase, JPM, and Bank of America BAC, and Goldman Sachs GS gained from rising interest rates and deregulation efforts, and then the banks also saw profits rise from higher interest rates, tax cuts, and reduced regulatory burdens, making lending and investment more lucrative. So we also did see that last administration. And again, we were in the middle of COVID during all this stuff going down, and you saw these industries doing well, and our aerospace and defense did well as well, and it should continue because that increased the defense spending under the Trump administration, and Lockheed Martin and the RTX Corp and NOC, which is Northrop Grumman, they all did really well, and we increased military budgets under Trump, and they benefited the defense contractors, like I just said, them ones. Boeing also did well, and they secured larger contracts for advanced weaponry and aerospace technology, which you're going to see a lot more of, and we're going to make this country really tough and strong. And also the healthcare and pharmaceutical companies, you would be surprised, but they did well. The large cap pharmaceuticals and biotech companies, including Pfizer and ABBV, experienced growth due to a favorable tax policies and continued drug development. And so the tax cuts helped pharmaceutical companies invest more into drug research, and companies like Pfizer gained from innovation and increased global health spending. But remember, they also were in the middle of COVID, so they were also doing pretty well with that. But they will continue to do well, and again, there's going to be a lot of incentives and tax breaks and tax cuts and things of that nature. And our retail and consumer discretionary, so our consumer spending remains strong, boosting companies like, of course, Walmart and Target and Home Depots. And the Home Depot and Amazon thrives as consumer spending surged, and low unemployment and tax cuts bolstered disposable incomes, leading to more purchases in retail and home improvement. And there you go. Little notes I took and just kind of ran through. I had them for like 2, 3 weeks now, and I just kept forgetting to do it. Laptop Travel actually mentioned something this morning to me. I was talking to him. I said, "Oh, I'm glad you just mentioned that because I have that sitting on my desk and I keep forgetting to go through it." So yeah, I just kind of made some notes real quick and ran through, and that's what you saw do well. And again, a lot of it was during COVID. These companies are going to do really well, and look at the team of people he has around them. I mean, Jesus. I mean, he's going to do it right. Like I keep telling you, our country's going to run like we've never seen it before. Just look at what's going on. It's reacting just from him winning the election. So there you go, everybody. Let me go ahead and look at the messages again. See if you guys have any questions or want to see anything. CLPT, how's Licho something doing? How you been? Let me look at that one. CLPT. Let's look at Clearpoint Nero. This one's all the way up there getting into the top. You'll probably have a runner in the morning, but be careful because it'll probably try to top out tomorrow. So if you were in it, congratulations, because that was a nice run up, and definitely be trying to lock in those profits. Obviously, it's in the top. It's going to try to come back down, set back up, and that company looks pretty good. Medical device company looks pretty solid right there. And Joseph J said, when these big caps are topping out, do you recommend puts? Is a good idea. I mean, honestly, I think when the market reverses, we'll look at more puts. I'm not going to try to run you necessarily run them up and then run the same one down. I'm just going to hop into the next one that's running up because the opportunities are there. If when the market obviously shifts and we see a downturn, because like I said, we will see one when they start clearing out everything and really cutting budgets. You're going to see the market react, and it's perfectly fine. Let it. It needs to anyway. And at that moment, that's when you start doing it, because you can easily hit some of these and take them right down, and they'll drop pretty significantly. But again, right now, they're still setting up to be in a bullish trend, so you don't really want to be shorting too many of them unless they look like they're going to jump off of a cliff. So you just want to be careful. And again, that's like PLTR and Sophie. They don't look like they want to ever jump off a cliff to me. So that's why I was saying that the other night, and it immediately went up. Of course, it came down by the end of the day, but it was way up. And you got to be careful with these things, because, like I said, they'll burn you real quick. And especially like with your expirations and stuff, because obviously if you're trying to short it down and this thing starts running up pretty significantly for a few weeks, you're not going to be anywhere near that put. So, and clearly you're just going to lose your put, naked shorting and all that stuff. You can lose a lot more. But again, I'll explain. I don't even understand all that stuff, but I just know the puts and the call options. But again, I'm just taking the calls and running the opportunities up because it's a bull market. When it shifts, I'll look at the puts. But no, I am not doing what you're asking on, running up, like, for example, Google, and then seeing it pull back. Because honestly, they might not pull back that much. They might only pull back a little bit. It depends. And then the next one, like Nvidia, is going to be running up significantly. I think that's going to run up higher than Google will be pulling back on me. So that's where I look at the profit margins. And just in my head, real quick, I look at it, what's the better opportunity? So that's what I look at. So I hope that helped, Joseph J. And boom, there you go with that. And I hope that was good. Let me hop over real quick and just see what's going on stock twits in here. I think we have a CPI tomorrow, because it says stock settle in for nervous wait on US CPI. So must have one of them reports tomorrow. So we'll see what that's up to. And always a report going on. Dollar weakens, Asian stock steady before US CPI. Wall Street braces for key inflation data, which is your CPI. And boom, there you go. Stock futures are a little changed as investors brace for key inflation data. So that should make things interesting tomorrow for sure. And let me go ahead. Let me look at the scanner and just see what's happening really quick. That ICCT, we were looking at that this morning. We were looking at that a while back. There wasn't a whole lot. CMRX had run up. We weren't really looking at it. XTIA is trying to set up the Walgreens, Lucid. I mean, pretty much everything we've already gone over. I already looked at it all, so there wasn't a whole lot. Let me just look on StockTwits, see if we're missing anything over there, and if there's anything trending that we want to check out real quick. Let me just take a look and see. Think we got all that. And that RGTI, Microsoft, we looked at IONQ, Google's up, AMD. We looked at all these, Google, WBA, that QURE, that one was up in the morning. We looked at it, Laptop Travel was trading that, and it was shot way up there. That could continue to run up there. And JOBY and GameStop are both down. And let's look at that APP. Luis Rodriguez said that's looking good. So let's take a look at that bad boy real quick, APP, and see what that's doing. That's that app loving. Oh yeah, that's coming down right there. Let me see what it did in the after hours right here. It is hitting a 20. I'll keep an eye on that tomorrow for us. But yeah, it ran right up there to the top, pulling back, and I will keep an eye on that, because that thing loves the top up there. It stayed in there forever, so I'll keep an eye on APP for us, Luis Rodriguez, and see when that wants to run. So there we go. I would say that's a good market review right there. Thank you everyone for hanging out. And again, I'm going to try to get this video knocked out for options so I can show you guys what I'm up to, because I'm having a fun time and I want you guys to join and have a good old time. I know Luis Rodriguez is having a good old time over there with options. So I want everybody to have a good time, and so is Laptop Travel and a few other people. And I know some of you just don't understand it, and I totally get it. Trust me. So I want you all to be comfortable and confident and rocking and rolling and making some crazy money like that. And again, you start small and and it adds up quick. So you don't want to try to shoot for home runs. You just want to get it down under control, figure it out, and then it becomes something life-changing for you. And again, I'll make a video. I'll get us all started so we can all start having an amazing time together because it is fun. And there you go. So thank you, everybody. Laptop Travel, O'Hare's Bastard Child, Luis Rodriguez, RD, Jennifer Lee, and Winter Mute, Bong Chan, Doge, Mama 9, Sherry. Keep trying. There you go. Jonathan J. Kratz, Joseph J. G. Beachkey, Tony 90, and Sean, and everyone else that was tuning in and listen. Thank you very much. You know, we'll be on at 7 a.m. for pre-market to break it down, see what Google's up to. Hopefully, it's still shooting through the moon, and then we'll catch the rest of these bad boys when they get set up and run them up. And that's why I want to get this video done because there's going to be a ton of opportunities. You can already see it. We just went through them all, so I want everybody to start having fun with it and start really making some profits there. So there you go, guys. Appreciate it again. Have a great night. I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. And if you just want me to look at anything, let me know in the morning. And until then, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great night. Rest up, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Have a good night, everybody.